Hi guys, welcome to We Love Betting. I'm Jim Knight. Back for another season of Team Goal Tips, hoping to hit a couple of winners this weekend after our winless first weekend with Portsmouth and Leyton Orient only finding the net once each, so failing to oblige on the over 1.5 goals bet. I would advise small stakes again this weekend, to be honest. There are a couple of prices that I really like the look of in the Championship, but with it being the early part of the season, you can't go too mad on these kind of markets. So without further ado, let's get on with it. The first match is Leeds versus Middlesbrough on the Saturday afternoon kickoff, the 12:15 televised game. I think Middlesbrough are worth staying with here. Leeds are in a bit of trouble at the moment, I think, off the pitch and on the pitch. There's still question marks over them with regards to the new boss, Dave Hockaday, who came in from non-league under Massimo Cellino. I think there are still plenty of questions to answer in terms of their team for this year. I think they've bought 4 Italians in the transfer market so far, and I saw Billy Sharp sign for a couple of million quid from Southampton, which is a good acquisition, I think, in the attacking sense. Defensively is where I'd still be quite worried about them. They looked pretty shoddy against Millwall, and to be honest, it could have been a lot worse than the 2-0 defeat that they suffered. I think it arguably could have been another penalty in that game as well, making it 3-0, and that's without taking into account how much of the game that Millwall actually had, and I don't think Leeds ever really looked in it, to be honest. The side that they're going to be facing this weekend at Ellen Road are Middlesbrough. Now, Middlesbrough got their campaign off to a good start, winning 2-0 against Birmingham last weekend. And to be honest, Darren Randolph, the Birmingham keeper, made several really, really good saves. And it could have been a lot worse than 2-0 if he hadn't have pulled off several kind of fine saves, particularly one from a well-worked free kick routine that's worth watching on YouTube or finding a vine of it if you haven't had a chance. It's a well-worked kind of short free kick routine. And Karanka's obviously got this side off to a winning start. They won 3-0 in the week as well against Oldham in the Capital One Cup. So fingers crossed they can carry that kind of potent attacking threat into the second game of the league season. You can get 7-5 on Middlesbrough scoring twice against Leeds, and to me that looks pretty decent price. The Leeds defence looks in no fit shape to cope with Millwall last weekend, and if they can't cope with Millwall under Ian Holloway, then I don't think they're going to be able to cope with a more prolific Middlesbrough side under Aitor Karanka, who's one of the best tacticians around, especially in the Championship. This is the year Middlesbrough have really got to show what they're made of. Karanka's had the time and the resources now over the summer to bring in the players that he wants. He's got to show something for it, and they've got to make a concerted charge towards the playoffs this year, and I think that's what they'll be expecting. This is a good opportunity to get under the skin of a Leeds side that probably aren't as well prepared as the Borough side they're going to be facing. So Middlesbrough to score twice, 2 or more goals is 7-5. So that's my first pick for the weekend. The second one is a shorter price, and I don't normally touch too many odds-on prices in these markets, but I can see plenty of reasons for doing so in the Blackpool versus Blackburn game. Now, Blackburn started the season with a 1-1 draw against Cardiff. Many of you probably would have seen that as the live TV game Friday night last weekend. Solid performance, nothing too spectacular, but I think they go to Blackpool this weekend with a real opportunity to put a marker down for this season. They've got plenty of attacking talent themselves, so they've got Jordan Rhodes, Rudy Gestede there. Tom Kearney scored the equalising goal against Middlesbrough as well. Against Cardiff last Friday, and people like Don Cowie as well, who signed from Cardiff. So they've got plenty of attacking threat against a Blackpool team that really, are still in disarray. Jose Riga's doing his best to kind of pull this team together, but the way that they've approached the season, it's no wonder they're having real problems at the moment. So they didn't really have a pre-season. They were supposed to go to Spain, I think, cancelled their pre-season tour. Didn't sign many players until right before the start of the season. So they're still kind of trying to gel players together. Jose Riga spoke about the fact that his side couldn't physically deal with 2 games in 3 days when they lost to Shrewsbury in midweek after they'd lost 2-0 to Nottingham Forest on last Saturday. So if they can't cope with 2 games in 3 days, I don't think 3 games in 7 days is going to help them, to be honest. And Blackburn should be a team that will go in there and give it them with both barrels at Bloomfield Road. The pitch at Bloomfield Road was often a concern last year for me because it wasn't conducive to much attacking kind of passing football, but it should be in as good a condition as it's ever going to be this weekend. weekend, with it being the first game of the season being played on it. So I'm happy to take a chance on Blackburn scoring 2 or more against a Jose Riga-led Blackpool team that are struggling desperately. He spoke about the lack of pre-season. He said there's a reason teams have pre-season. Look at how we're getting on. So I think for the next few weeks, it's actually worth looking at someone against Blackpool. You won't necessarily get the good prices as the bookies start cotton on the fact that they're not particularly good. They are very short for relegation, but I think there's just enough juice in this 20 to 23, so 1.85 in decimal, 20 to 23 in old money. For Blackburn to score twice or more at Bloomfield Road on Saturday, and it's a price that I'm willing to take. Just to recap the 2 bets then, we've got Middlesbrough to score 2 or more against Leeds in the early kickoff on Saturday at 7-5, and Blackburn to score 2 or more against Blackpool at 20 to 23. They're the 2 bets for this weekend. Hopefully we can get a couple of winners on the board. Cheers guys, see you next week.